Thanks so much for joining in this afternoon. First things first, there was the launch of the mSehat, that's the healthcare mobile application in UP. What's the scope? What's the order size? And do you see it expanding to other states as well?
Sure. Good afternoon. Yeah, the mSehat is an initiative by CIFSA, which is a government agency of UP state. Right now the order size is about 28 crores. We expect that, currently it is being rolled out in 5 districts of UP, and they're seeing a lot of success there. We expect that, this will be rolled out to the other 70 districts of UP. The time horizon for that is probably the next fiscal year from the government point of view. So we are rolling out close to 15,000 mobile devices, which is a combination of smartphones as well as, pad-like devices.
Okay. Hi, Niranjan, and thanks so much for joining in. Do you maintain your revenue guidance that you had earlier given us, 600 crores in FY16, as well as 2,000 crores in the next 3 years? Is that on track, or are you likely to beat it?
We are on track. At this time, we want to achieve what we have targeted, and I think we will achieve that very easily. If we beat it, that'll be a bonus. Hopefully, we'll know that as we go on. At this time, we are on target to achieve that 100 million or 650 crores, as well as the 2,000 crores that we have projected for the next 3 years.
All right, Niranjan, then a quick follow-up question. I mean, how much of it is going to come via inorganic activity?
Organic activity is going to be about 15% is what we're targeting to grow year on year. The inorganic activity is going to fill in the rest. So, the numbers, cannot tell you exactly right now, but it is in line with what we want to achieve.
So you're going to be looking for more acquisitions going ahead?
Absolutely. We are always on the look for acquisitions. There is a mandate that we're given to multiple bankers that they're scouring to make sure that we have the right fit and to identify the targets that we are given in the specific industry as well as the technology verticals that we have chosen for ourselves, which is that ISMAC, which is nothing but the IoT, social, mobile, analytics, and cloud, which is what we wanted to excel in as well as to round it off.
Okay, so the organic growth will be 15% on a year-on-year basis. Could you tell us the targeted margin profile for the company in the next 3 years according to your business plan?
Sure. The margin is going to be at the PAT. We're looking at about 10 to 11% is what we are targeting, and that will increase as we go on for the next following years. So since we are in the digital space, sorry, go ahead.
So this PAT target of 10 to 11% is for next year or at the end of 3 years?
To the next year.
All right.
So the target, and I think we want to increase that a little bit more because we are in the digital space, right? And in the digital space, we can command a little bit more premium compared to the other spaces that typical other companies are in.
Could you put a number to that a little bit more, Niranjan?
So our target is in a 10 to 13 range is what we are targeting.
All right.
For the PAT is what we are targeting, Nishan.
Okay, you were sounding quite optimistic in terms of your inorganic growth. What's your balance sheet looking like? How will you fund these acquisitions? Could you give us some details?
Sure, and we will be funding some of it through the QIP route that we announced earlier, and or some kind of an equity round that we'll be doing pretty soon. So that'll be one way, and there is some debt on the books, and the debt is very manageable, and we will be retiring some debt with the equity round that we are going to be raising soon. That is going to retire some debt, and we want to set aside about $10 million for further acquisitions.
When will you be raising this equity? Will it happen in this fiscal year? And how much will you raise?
It is going to happen in this fiscal year. We are targeting about 100 to 120 crores is what we are targeting, depending on the dilution and what the price is going to be. Based on that, we'll decide what exactly the amount is going to be.
All right, Niranjan, one final question. I think the stock is currently trading only in the BSE. Will it be, have you put any kind of application for it to be trading in the NSE as well?
We have just announced that we have begun the process for NSE listing. I'm hoping that is going to happen very quickly. But this is the procedural thing. We comply with all the things that the NSE has guidelines for. So it should be a procedural matter, and hopefully we'll list on NSE.
Okay, Niranjan, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining in. Look at that stock run. It's now up 10%. And pull up the one-year chart of Kellton Technology. It's a stock Nigel had identified when it was what?
It was around 65, 68 rupees on mid-cap mania a while back, Rima. But I think you have been tracking it as well from some time. And I think at one point of time, the stock... in less than 2 years ago, at least, it was something around 10 rupees, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
That stock, in fact, has moved from 10 rupees all the way to around 145. And management sounding quite optimistic, but performance is going to be tracked very, very closely.
Yes, it's a 500+% return in the last 1 year. Anyway, on that note, let's slip into a very short break. Manas Shareswal and Meghna Malkan of malkanview.com will join in on the other side to discuss the market technicals.